Welcome to Some Awesome Films, I'm Rob. We're going to go into a little discussion here on the credit scenes for Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So of course, obviously, spoiler warning, we probably won't touch too much on what happens in Captain America, so don't worry about that, but we're just going to talk about the credit scenes. The first of which is directed by Joss Whedon, so it's setting up for the Age of Ultron, the new Avengers movie coming out. And we enter a lair for Baron von Strucker, played by Thomas Kretschmann, who you may remember from certain films. I remember him most from King Kong as the captain of the ship. But he's playing von Strucker, and he's got his little lair. Down there, we see that he has Loki's scepter and a couple of prisoners, and he's quite young still. So they've either changed his character to either have the death spore virus, which keeps him young and pretty badass, or they've just changed it and made him born much later and not from World War II. So of course they don't really go into detail. There's not really much going on here. It's just kind of setting the scene a bit. We don't know if he has his Satan Claw. He may have a big badass hand. You don't really get to see that much. But he does talk about the twins that he has imprisoned, of course being Quicksilver, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, and the Scarlet Witch, played by Elizabeth Olsen. And they're imprisoned. He calls them miracles. He says the age of miracles is upon us, which, of course, if you know Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they're Magneto's kids, so they're mutants, really. Disney doesn't really own X-Men and mutants, so they've gone with miracles, it seems. So I guess the new term for mutants is going to be miracles in these upcoming movies. But we see Quicksilver, they got like two cells side by side, and Quicksilver's kind of spinning around his cell back and forth, back and forth. His kind of long hair. You don't really get the good look at his face, but then it slowly pans in on Scarlet Witch, floating some blocks around, crushes the blocks with her mind, and then it cuts to black, and that is the end of that little scene. So that scene's actually really like well done. Like, it looks really cool, and it introduces a lot. He's got Loki's scepter there as well, so a lot's going on in that scene. But the final scene after the credits, not really worth sticking around for. This is something you just assume is happening, but Bucky's Barnes is still alive, of course, and he's gone to the museum, like the Captain America Museum or World War II Museum, and he starts reading about himself, finding out who he is. Like, they have a little panel of glass that says like Bucky Barnes, and it's got an old picture of him, and it's like, oh well, now I know who I am, I can read about myself. You kind of just assume he's going to do that, but they show that anyway. That should have been the first scene, and they should have had the way cooler one at the end, because it really was like, well, I didn't really need to see that. I didn't really, cool, I guess, but whatever. I mean, it's good to sit through the credits, you find out who made the movie, but still, would have been better if there was more of a payoff in the end.